Dear students, welcome to Mavericks English classes. In this video, we are going to talk about the first chapter of the first flight book of Grade 10 English, that is A Letter to God, written by G.L. Fuentes. Before I start this video, I'll just inform you that this video is divided into two segments. First, I'll be talking about the writer, a brief description of the life of the writer or the author. And second, I'll be talking about the summary of the chapter in detail. So, to begin with, this story, A Letter to God, is based on the theme of unquestionable faith on God. On one hand, faith can make miracles happen, but on the other, it can be foolish. There is a very thin line between faith and foolishness. In this chapter, the writer, G.L. Fuentes, in a very interesting way, illustrates that faith can be a driving force that can have a deep impact on the lives of the people around you. But at the same time, we must also understand that God doesn't directly come to help the people. Rather, it creates agents of help for his devotees. And our wisdom lies in understanding this underlying fact. So the entire story revolves around this theme. Before I delve into the summary of this chapter, let's talk about the writer. As I told you in all my previous videos, it is very necessary to know or have a brief idea of the life of the writer so that you can understand the perspective of the writer and you will be in a better situation to analyze the text in a better way and to understand the plot and theme of the story in a better way. So talking about the writer, G.L. Fuentes or George Lopez Fuentes was born on November 17, 1897. He was a Mexican writer known for his fictional story, A Letter to God. He was a leading cause of the Mexican Revolution. During his youth, he worked at his father's general store where he came in contact with the Indian farmers and laborers of the region whose life he later described in detail. After his unsuccessful attempts at poetry and novel, he began to draw upon his experiences of the Mexican Revolution. He wrote many books based on the revolution. Later, he became a teacher at a school in Mexico City in 1921 and began writing under the pseudonym of G.L. Fuentes. His stories or his works are seen as exciting and humorous. He is known for his description of the rural life and peasantry of Mexico. He was one of the first recipients of the National Prize for Arts Mexico. He is better known for his fictional story, A Letter to God, which was later included in the textbook of Grade 10 English. He eventually passed away on December 10th, 1976. So this was all about the writer. Now let's go ahead and talk about the summary of this chapter in detail. The story begins with the description of the background of the place where the story is set. Lencho, who is the main character in the story, had his only house in the valley. It was situated on the top of a hill, and from where the river and the fields could be easily seen. Lencho had a good crop that year, and it needed rain badly. Lencho looked at the north sky and he could see the rain clouds. His wife was preparing dinner that time. He told his wife that by God's will, it's going to rain. Soon, big raindrops started falling. Lencho went out to feel the drops of rain on his body. He was glad, and he said that these raindrops are like new coins. But the joy of Lencho did not last long. Soon hail started raining everywhere. The entire field was covered with white snowballs. It looked like salt. The entire crop was destroyed. Lencho now was very sad. He thought that this year they would have to go hungry. They would not even have seeds for the next year. But he did not lose hope. He had heard that no one dies hungry, and he had great belief on God. So the following Sunday, he went to the post office and wrote a letter to God stating that he required 100 pesos for his survival for the next year. And he wrote the address as God. An employee of the post office showed that letter to the postmaster. Initially, the postmaster laughed looking at the letter, and he wished that he could also have the same faith on God. But he decided to keep the faith of the writer. But when he read the letter, he found that the writer required money. So he told his friends and employees to contribute some money. In that effort, he was able to collect 70 pesos. So he put those 70 pesos in an envelope and addressed it to Lencho and wrote only one word on that, that is God as signature. The following Sunday, Lencho came to the post office and he asked if he had got a letter for him in the mail. The letter, the envelope of the postmaster was handed over to him. Lencho showed no surprise looking at the money. He counted the money and became very angry. He felt that God could not have made a mistake. So he immediately wrote another letter to God and put it in the mailbox. The letter was given to the postmaster, who opened it and read it. Lencho had written that God, I have asked for 100 pesos and I have got only 70 pesos. So he asked God to send the rest of the money. And he also wrote that God should not send the money through mail because these post office people are a bunch of crooks and they might take the money again. So this is the story where Lencho had unquestionable faith on God, but this unquestionable faith was very near to foolishness. Had the postmaster not helped him, he would have been crying for help, and most probably God would not have come directly, must have created another way to help Lencho, but in his foolishness and in his unquestionable faith to God, he would have expected a miracle to happen, and then he would not have been able to receive any kind of help that God might have created for him. So this is the summary of this story, a letter to God. I will see you in the next video with another chapter of the same book of Grade 10 English. Till then, have a great time. Best of luck for your exams and thank you for watching.